All right, buddy. I'm Johnny Scoville, and this is After the Burn. Thank you guys for joining me. Appreciate you guys being here. Let me see who we have. Let's see. I want to say hi to everybody. We got a really fun one today. We got Linda and Art MacNew from Linda's Fiery Treats. We got Bizzle. We have Brock Bandy, Jason P, and Chris Melinda. Thank you. Those are my mods right now. We'll probably have more joining. We've got Pepper Poppy. We got Linda's Fiery Treats in the chat as well. Jane Aldrich, Dale Cox, Bern Daly, and Balaki Anderson, and Dizzy Dragon. All right. So this is a fun one, you guys. I've known them for several years now, and they're fun people to be with, and this is going to be a fun interview. But they just do so they grow great peppers, and this is just going to be a super fun interview. So without any more wasting time, everybody, this is Art and Linda MacNew. Hello, guys. How are you?
Hey, guys.
Hey, everyone.
You guys look great. Are you having a good night?
Most definitely.
What you got there, Art?
Redbreast whiskey.
There you go.
Energy drink.
There you go. All right, so we go back a while.
Yeah, we do.
Several years now. We've been eating peppers and hanging out a little bit. So
yeah,
it's been a lot of fun so far. So thank you for. We got a lot of fun questions to ask. I got a bunch of questions.
I guess we met you in Dallas, right?
First time. Yeah.
The first time I met with you was in Dallas at Dallas S Fest.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
That was when Big Al scared me into thinking we had killed somebody in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Very uncool. I almost had a heart attack.
And my first challenge.
That's right. That was a fun. That was really fun, though. You know. So listen, I want to ask you the first question.
Sure.
Have you always been a lover of spice, or is that when did that start?
No. Personally, me, I would say we started maybe about 4 or 5 years ago, and we always loved a little bit of spice.
2016 was the first Bauer show, right?
Yeah, probably.
So probably 8 years we've been introduced to Super Hots.
Yep.
So you got into it right when I started this channel.
Pretty much, yeah.
Right.
There's that. So in Pennsylvania, there's a show around the Lancaster area, the Bauer's Pepper Show.
Everybody knows it.
Yeah, it's a nice show. And we got there, and not only was it cool because we're finding all this stuff we never even knew existed.
Exactly.
But on the other hand, we also discovered back then the industry was really just about making something as hot as they could and not putting a lot of effort into really what it tasted like. There were some good vendors, but if you looked at the whole show in general, we just felt like from one to the next, we could do it at least as good or better than a lot of the products that were out there. And there was no competition.
One of my questions was, what was your motivation to start it? Because there's a big difference between being a spice enthusiast to saying, let's push our chips in, let's start a business. So what was that conversation like?
I was just like, you know what? I can make this shit so much better.
She likes to cook. So
I love
creativity in the kitchen's kind of her cornerstone anyway.
Yeah.
So they just went hand in hand.
Very good. Do you cook with peppers a lot?
I would think maybe about 30% of the time.
Well, I personally have probably sent you about 50 yellow devil's tongues over the years. that is just my go-to.
Yeah.
So that's
really
give or take a hair hotter than a habanero.
Yeah.
And I could cook with that all day long, and I'm just happy with it.
Yeah.
It's a good pepper for cooking, heat-wise and flavor. You know, sometimes
it holds on to some of that Chinen super hot flavor, even though it's not slamming you, you know?
Right. Well, the yellow pods are like that.
Yeah.
They're lovely. So how are you feeling? How's your health?
Well, me, I'm kind of dealing with many things as I post it and stuff like that. It seems like I could keep getting knocked down one strike at a time, but I'm doing okay. Trying to get my neck surgery scheduled hopefully before the end of the year. If not, then beginning of the year. But yeah, after my last surgery, I got hit with pneumonia right afterwards, which definitely threw a ringer into everything. And I was not feeling good at all. And so we ended up taking a week off for Peppers and just kind of recapping ourselves and stuff like that. But right now I'm feeling pretty good. All we can do is take one day at a time. You know, it sucks getting old. And
Right.
all you can do is just go with it.
My dad said, I watched him go from the guy that wore a cape and had a suit under his, you know what I mean? He was like Superman to me. Watching him, what it's tough. It's definitely, it's not for the faint of heart. He's told me that
It's
many
not.
times.
No,
Now,
definitely not.
Were you always a Chili? Were you did you get into Chili's, or you guys all came together at the same time with
I
your
think
love for
around the same
Yeah.
time. I've always liked, I think, stuff spicier than she did,
Mhm.
but I wouldn't say by a big margin.
No,
right?
no, just a bit.
Yeah.
We did meet in Dallas. What do you guys? What do you think of the festivals? Here's the thing: you should before you ever, as a vendor, before you ever even go to one, somebody should almost send you an email that says, "Hey, don't think about trying to make money," because that's really honest to God. Because if you go there with the idea like, "Hey, you know what? We're gonna kill it this time." Nobody kills it. It's about being seen and getting your name out there and shaking hands and giving samples out. But do you guys enjoy doing the festivals?
Well, we were the one in Tampa. We were lucky enough to have Katie come down and help us.
Yes.
And we had the booth right next to Tom Broom.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
even if we didn't sell a damn thing, we just had a ball.
So much fun.
That's for that weekend, But we made a good profit that show. I'll tell you, the very first thing we ever did was when we moved to Florida. There's a little tiny town called Stark, and it's just a nothing little town. And we did their town fair. And I knew nothing about marketing super hots to regular people.
Nope.
And I basically just stuck people to the roof of our tent all day and hardly sold a damn thing. Got a lot of business for the guy selling water down the aisle, but
Yeah, it's an interesting thing when there definitely is an approach to do it right, because you can burn people. Like when we do shows, we have stuff
you're never going to sell them.
Doable.
Yeah.
And we have
now,
stuff that's going to make people head to the bathroom. And if we always tell people, start small, because if you give them a tube of terrapinut, they're just going to disappear and we won't see them again.
Yeah. We have that having some fun blueberry jam. And it's, it's a great door opener. If they're already freaking out over that, let's go in another direction.
Exactly.
Not only that, but at a show, you're not just the only one burning them. By the time they've gotten to you, they've eaten something already.
Yep.
It's not like rarely are you the first person, the first booth they're eating something hot at. So it's
actually, no. You think about it. The few first shows we did, we were literally the only kind of spicy stuff involved. It was like kind of local shows, and they were not ready.
To be honest, they're not productive.
Not ready for us.
It takes a lot of hustle.
Yeah. So when we were in Tampa,
that was a good show.
I learned something that I enjoy, and I played with some in Erie, and I'm hoping you get the enjoyment out of it too. We had two punks that came up all day long, wanting the hottest thing we could find, and I just kept telling them, no, they were dying over scorpion stuff. Well, by about 4:30, they kept coming back, pumping their chest, so they got a bag of those League of Fire challenge cashews, and all they did was eat a handful, and they didn't even make eye contact. They just turned and walked away from us, and I never saw them again.
Yep.
Yeah, what we experience always, there's a pattern, and the first time it happened, it was kind of funny, but over and over, somebody will come by the booth, they'll eat something hot, we'll work them up the scale, then we'll fry them, and then they'll leave, and like an hour later, they'll come back with a friend and say, screw them, what you did to me. And then they leave.
Awesome.
They usually at the end of the day or the last day of the event, they'll come by and they'll always say the same thing. I got some friends who are gonna love this, and they always buy it. But that's the pattern that happens every time.
See, we only have probably maybe 8 to 10 shows under our belt because, like I said, we're kind of new at doing shows. I'm kind of more on the mail order, easier type of thing, but we're trying to, branch out to make it easier for people who are just learning about the heat.
Well, you guys have powder, you have peppers, you have sauce, you have snacks, you have challenges. What am I missing?
Well, challenges is kind of up in the air right now. So we did do the League of Fire cashews. So they were 6 times hotter than our original Reaper cashews. I would not say they are considered a challenge product.
Right, because as I started to allude to, the industry's changed drastically in 8 years.
Yeah.
I mean, you and I have even had a face-to-face conversation that we'll do our best to stay out of each other's way in our products because we do have some overlap.
Yeah.
And I wish the whole industry would just think that way.
Yeah.
Well, listen, nobody owns an idea. I mean, you can start launch a product, but if somebody else does something similar, it's the business,
Yeah.
So, but when you go to an event, how much do you take? Because you have so much.
We literally take way too much right now. Okay, but we are learning how that whole system works. So
we really don't have a feel for how much we're going to move. And thank God, like most of the nuts and stuff, as long as you don't keep them in the sun. Now in Tampa was a more bigger challenge.
Yeah.
But had we gone to Erie, you could take as much as you could fit in the truck.
And Erie was only just for providing peppers to the show and just having fun meeting all the incredible pepper people. So that was our goal there. Next year, we are planning on doing more shows as long as everything holds out and health holds out. We are planning a lot more shows and stuff like that. But it's hard. It really is because we really are not experienced enough in the show industry to be able to, pick out what we should bring and what we shouldn't bring. I have so many products in my head that it's like literally exploding. So all we can do is take one day at a time.
Right. I mean, I'll be perfectly frank. I had no idea just how giving this community really is when they want to be.
Yeah.
I very rarely asked a question that wasn't answered honestly and forthcoming. I very rarely asked advice from direct competitors and not gotten what I felt was good answers.
Right. Everybody wants to see you do well. I mean, everybody wants everybody to do well.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. If I had to think of something to change in this industry, it feels like, I mean, there's always been some bit of animosity between, I'll just use the word camps.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, I don't know whether it was the Hulu show or just the evolution of people just being crappy to each other. But it really does feel like there's 3 or 4 pepper camps now out there. And it's a goddamn pepper, Johnny. It's a freaking pepper.
Well, that's one of the reasons I've walked away from social media.
Yeah.
I like the pepper community, I'm a part of it. Because I've got the channel, everybody, it's in the chat, and I go to shows, which are fun. I like going to shows. They're fun to be around people. But there's definitely a sort of a mob mentality.
Yeah.
There is.
You know what I mean? And if you, like, I remember early on, good example, I'm just going to be really frank. Early on, I talk early on, the first year of the channel, I reviewed the Carolina Reaper. And I said it was a hot pepper, but it wasn't the hottest. I've had hotter. There are hotter peppers out there.
Yeah.
And you would have thought, honest to God, it's like you can't imagine how people were, some of the emails I got and the way people, some people just straight turned on me. It's like, and I'm not saying, the problem is we've gotten to a place where when you hear a pepper, you think of a person. That sucks. When you hear a pepper, you should think of the pepper.
Yeah,
exactly.
You know what I mean? When you think of a chocolate boodle, you think of the chocolate boodle. I think of amnesia. I think of the amnesia. But when you think of a 7-pot Primo, you think of Troy Primo.
sure.
And,
Yeah.
You know, and we think of a Reaper. Who do you think of? You think of Ed. So
Yeah.
you're right. The mob mentality's got to go, and people. But I don't see it changing.
Well, the whole country's become a mob mentality. So
It has.
I don't think it's just peppers, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's very
hopefully
sad.
it changes. Let me ask you a question. You guys have relocated. You started your business. You weren't in Florida. You guys were in Pennsylvania.
Exactly.
We were in far
How much
northeast.
of a difference is business for you guys in running a business, doing what you do in Florida compared to running a business, doing what you did in Pennsylvania?
Okay.
So originally, when we were in Pennsylvania, we really did not embrace like the entire thing that I was working on, like all the spicy treats. We did a few here and there, and then we started growing peppers and stuff like that. But since we come to Florida, with the amount of peppers and the amount of reception that we've received on our products, it has grown exponentially.
But weather, you know, let's start with weather. So we were closer to Binghamton, New York than Scranton.
Yeah.
We honestly had snow. We always had snow by Thanksgiving, and we always had snow up until the end of April, easily. So, you know, we had less than a half a year of outdoor time. Thank God we had a large basement. We grew peppers literally in our basement.
Yeah.
And then moved them outside for a few months.
And now, how many seasons do you get? How many different? Do you get like 3 grows a year?
Oh, more than that, because our plants literally
we offset them.
Keep setting.
Yeah.
Okay, our main plants are nonstop producing. Like it doesn't stop.
We don't
Can I show this picture now? Is it a good spot to show this picture?
Sure. Yeah.
Tell us what we're looking at.
Yeah, that's how we started right there.
That was our basement. Yep.
Now,
we had
what plants are we looking at there?
Oh, God.
I'd say
100.
Yeah, probably close to 100 would be in the basement. They were mostly amnesias, a bunch of scorpions, obviously a few reapers, but we didn't really embrace the reapers earlier on.
No.
We struggled with growing them for the first year, so we were not necessarily turned off to them, but we stuck with the plants that we knew were growing well.
Right.
If I think back to where we first started getting, we literally started growing from seeds from pods we bought, just like we sell pods to other people now.
Yeah.
And so Tom Kleinfelder and Mark Wilkerson, and what's the couple? Lexus and Randy. You know, we bought peppers from all kinds of folks.
Yeah.
Some of these names you hardly even hear of anymore. You know, we would just keep the seeds, and we started planting plants. And next thing you know, we're like, wow, we got more peppers than we know what to do with. Why don't we try selling them like everybody else does?
Yeah.
And that was kind of the foot. That was the foot in the door.
Yep.
Right.
But then we realized that. Go ahead.
You have pods now.
Oh, yes, we do.
Yeah.
How late do you think you're going to have pods all winter, or what?
I am hoping
we don't know. We
don't know.
We will definitely be, if we were to isolate the winter, we'll definitely be in the home because we're running heaters in the greenhouses.
Yes.
So we are paying electricity right now.
And right now, the last week and a half, 2 weeks, we have had major 28, 29 degrees.
We're right in the north end of Florida, so we do get some frosts.
Yeah, and freezes.
So we were. I'll use the word blessed. We'll get into what happened to our grow this year, but so you've gotten pods from Clayton Hollingsworth, and at the end of his season,
in fact, Clayton is. Clayton is right there.
They are phenomenal, and
he's a great grower.
At the end of this is the second season in a row. At the end of his grow, he's allowed us to go up with a big trailer and load up all his adult producing plants.
As best as we can fit.
Yeah. So we got like almost 100 this time.
Yeah.
Brought them back and put them in our greenhouses. And that's mostly why we still have pods.
Right now, yeah.
He's already frozen. He couldn't have used them.
Yeah.
Now, when I was at your place, how many
Yeah.
have you added some greenhouse? How many? What have you done different?
Many.
Yeah, we had 4 plus the hard one. Now we've got 6
Or 7 now.
plus the hard one.
Yeah.
One's big.
1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe 8.
So what happened to our grow? We had 2 hurricanes
3.
come. Well, 3, but 2 really
Big ones.
One gave us over 20 inches of rain in about 48 hours.
18.
I would say 2/3 of our plants ended up dying from either wet legs or from insect problems because they were so weakened.
Yeah.
Wow. 20
This was a bad year. This was definitely one of the worst years we've ever experienced, just from bug. And I mean, I tried everything possible to get rid of the god darn whiteflies, and they just would not go away. No matter what we tried everything imaginable, and we just finally just gave up, and we cut back 1 billion plants, and we basically put them to trash. But they went into one greenhouse, and
it was horrible. We've probably got 50 plants left out of 350.
Yeah.
Wow.
From this summer's grow.
Yeah.
That are in 2 greenhouses. And basically I cut them way back, practically hand cut almost every leaf with a whitefly trace on it off them.
Yeah.
And just let them go, and they were either going to die or they weren't. And thank God they're working their way back.
Yeah, there's a
Have
few.
you ever used ladybugs?
Ladybugs, lacewing, green lacewings, and then there's like 3 other ones.
Thousands of ladybugs come every week.
Yes, I get almost 5,000 every week.
They are awesome at aphids.
Yes, but the whiteflies.
These whiteflies. The problem is the whiteflies. The plants were all terribly weakened by the weather issues.
Exactly.
So they were just fair game for them. I don't blame the whiteflies. I mean, I'm pissed about it, but
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
This question comes from Dale. Do you have warthog seeds or plants?
Warthog? No.
No. Nope.
Okay, you know what you need to do? I'll get you hooked up after the show. Email me, and I'll make sure you get some. It's the I ate one in August. It was the hottest thing I have ever eaten by far. Like nothing had ever come close. I can talk through the pain.
Yeah. So hotter than
down. I'm not joking.
hotter than the Jason Beard chocolate primatale.
Nothing came close. I'm not even joking.
Awesome. We would love that.
Dale, who asked that question, he was doing.
We would love that. Thank you, Dale.
In a live stream about a week ago, 2 weeks ago, maybe. His tolerance is ridiculous, and he was doing 4. How many gushers were you doing, Dale? I think he was doing 4 or maybe even 6 gushers in warthogs. Or no, chocolate primatale. Excuse me, chocolate primatales. And that only got him to a 6.
Oh
my God.
He ate 1 that he grew, and it got him to an 8. And he did 5 of the gushers. And that only got him to a 6. And eating 1 warthog got him to an 8. They are ridiculous.
That's cool.
Another question. This one comes from Clayton Hollingsworth.
There we go.
Clayton.
Yeah. What are your favorite memories? Your favorite Johnny memory?
Johnny memories. You know what? Definitely Dallas. I mean, meeting you for the first time in person.
And then you telling her to go to the bathroom and get rid of it before it gets too much worse.
Yeah, during the solar spell. That's memorable.
You let out one of the industry secrets.
Hey, listen, there's not much of a secret. If you ever go to New York, if you ever and watch them, I mean, pretty much. If you go to a show, you know.
Yeah.
Hang on, I think I have a few more. I have
another
one here. This one's from Jeremy Fowler.
Okay.
Hello, MacNew family. I'm from MacNew family. I'm from Northeast New York. How did you guys handle the cold throughout the years?
Hated it.
So here, quick 1 minute story. We lived in that area because we had an opportunity to buy a farm in 2000.
Yep.
My oldest daughter we were living in the city of Philadelphia. My oldest daughter was getting close to school age, and we were either going to become Catholic overnight or go to private school. And we had an opportunity to buy a nice big old dairy farm, 120 acres. And through the grace of God, exploration for natural gas came to our area.
Yep.
Oh, that's right. We talked about that.
We basically hit the lottery. There's no other way to put it.
Nope.
We sold that farm to a gas company and bought another place, 85 acres, beautiful farm, built our forever house in 2014.
No, 16.
16? Okay. I think it started, we bought it in 15, right?
Nope.
No? Okay.
Well,
I don't know. Whatever. Doesn't matter. We're there for a few years. I worked 12-hour swing shift for Procter & Gamble. I come home from work one night and was about to plow the driveway for like the 4th day in a row. And she comes out to me and she goes, I'm done. I can't do this anymore.
No.
I don't know what we're going to do, but I can't look at another flake of snow the rest of my life. And we just started the ball rolling.
Yeah.
We asked the kids, they got all depressed. Then we asked them if they wanted to go to Florida, and all of a sudden they were happy. And
we moved everyone down here.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's beautiful. So Jacob Deathridge wants to know, how long have you been growing super hots? How many years?
I would say at least 8.
Really
in the last
seriously,
4 years.
4 years seriously.
Yeah, 4 years seriously.
Hi, UK Chili Queen. She says, man, I always forget dates.
Miss you, girl.
It's fact. Thank you guys all for being here. There's a bunch of people. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, definitely.
Since you first started your business, you've been how many years have you been in business?
Well, I mean, I would say probably at least 6. I started, like I said, just making some basic jams and stuff like that. And then I started with the nuts, and it was like well received and extremely well received. And my goal is providing the best ingredients and best flavor. I'm really cool on making really neat flavor combinations, which is what I strive for. And so that's the biggest thing for me, is like coming up with new things, hopefully that other people haven't done.
What was that? The thing with the raisins in it that everybody loved.
Oh,
he loved it.
Yeah, the rum raisin apple pie jam. Yeah, that was crazy. Remember that one?
So that's definitely back in the catalog coming up.
Yes.
That stuff was so good. Oh my goodness. You make great products. You do.
Well,
I think I met you guys through College Boy.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Yep. Dave Martin. Yep, definitely.
Yep. So he
So where is he at?
I have no idea,
Has he bolted out of the scene?
He was working for us, and now he's not. Then he wasn't, and he just I don't know what he did. He graduated, which is great.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I've messaged him several times, but I have no response. For everybody leaving comments, if you started a comment just like Christian, just like Kristen just did with the QQQ, it stands out. I'm starring all the questions, so if they slide by, don't worry. Everybody that has a QQQ, I'm starring the questions, and I will get to them as we go throughout the interview.
Sounds good.
Yeah, how about this one? Which one of your products would you recommend for a newbie, say level of jalapeno and medium sauces? That is for Chris.
Having some fun.
Newbie, she says.
Yeah.
Having some fun blueberry jam is our go-to at the shows.
Yep, definitely.
It's just slamming awesome. And if you just take your time with it, it's a slow builder because of how sweet it is.
Yeah, definitely.
Excellent.
And then nut-wise, I would say I made a few lower heat nuts this past year. One is the
pistachio one.
Yeah, the hickory smoked pistachios, the garlic Asiago almonds. Like I said, there's a few of those. We're trying to build people up. And
So not the brownies with the peanut
Where
butter
does
in
your
them?
creativity come from? I mean, you sit around and go, what? I mean, what was the last one you just said?
the garlic
Asiago?
Asiago.
Or me or her?
No, well, yeah, the Asiago. What was that one now?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's garlic Asiago almonds.
How'd you come up with that? I mean,
Well, you know what? To be honest with you, we love Sam's Club, and so I go around and I look for different flavor combinations, and I'm like, oh, you know, I can make that better, and then I go from there.
A lot of times we'll buy a product and go, "Wow, this is garbage,"
Yeah, and then
but it
make it better.
but it gives you an idea.
Yep, exactly.
UK Chili
Right
Queen
now,
says, I just love Linda because Paul ate one of Linda's fiery nuts in Erie and nearly died.
That was the best time I had walking around with my pack of nuts,
I know.
handing them out to people.
Let me ask you a question. That was one of the questions I was going to ask is, do you have a favorite memory from when you burned somebody at a show, like the craziest reaction?
Well, I told you about the two guys, but that was just more like a guy ego thing, you know?
Yeah.
But
the Jello.
The Jello
freeze-dried Jello was a big hit in Erie.
yeah, but so who got lit up?
Oh, Jason. Was it
No.
Jason?
Who was in our back seat?
Oh, definitely Shahira.
And who's
who's the guy?
who's the she's on here, I think. I don't know.
Oh yeah. What is her name? Whipple. Okay, just
It'll come to us.
so many people, and I mean, there's so many, and I'm horrible with names, which really sucks because that's what happens when you get old. But we had lots of fun with the freeze-dried Jello because they were like just going crazy over that, and it was really hot.
It's hot and it like whacks you the second you stick it in your mouth. It doesn't last long because it melts away.
Yeah.
But it's awesome to just walk around and light people up.
Yeah.
Those League of Fire nuts are probably the best because they look almost identical, other than being a little darker than the regular ones.
Yeah.
Right?
But I've learned.
I'm sorry.
Well,
go ahead. What were you saying?
Okay, I've learned with the whole freeze-dried industry area that certain things don't last very long. No matter what you do with the whole oxygen thing and everything else to keep the air out of them, there are some products that do not last long, no matter what.
Additionally, you never know what a product is going to do in the freeze dryer until you do it.
Yep.
Some things they react in ways you do not expect, and other things that you hope it's going to react some way don't react at all.
Yep, exactly. And
Very
we've been fooling around with that. And
I mean, the Reaping Skittles are probably
definitely the
best seller we've had so far.
Yeah, they last longer and everything else. But
and you could put a boatload of powder on them. You know,
God, yes, definitely.
All right, so Northman asks, have you considered making any extra hot cookies?
Yes,
I have.
Yes.
And I do have some in the making right now. I was hoping to get like at least a half a dozen products out before Christmas. Unfortunately, with everything going on health-wise, I can't do it. But I do have some incredible ideas. And so I will be implementing them very soon.
I'll give you a little secret to everybody watching. She is a sucker for somebody to ask her to do something.
Exactly.
She can't say no.
Get her on Facebook, on Messenger, and say, hey, can you try to make this?
Yep.
She'll at least get back to you and say, I couldn't work it out. But either way, it'll take, somebody's going to take a shot at it.
Well, see, this weekend, okay, so this coming weekend, my daughter, she has been like a really great help with a lot of things. She's going through a lot in her own life where our 3 grandchildren are. And with her husband being disabled, it's been really rough for them, definitely. And so, we are going to start selling some seeds. I don't normally sell seeds, only a few different types, but she's going to help me and it's going to help her at the same time.
Yeah, we're going to let her sell the seeds and make the money.
So it will be on the website at some point for some of our seeds. Now, of course, they are non-isolated right now.
So far.
Right.
Yeah.
But this coming year, we are definitely going to be isolating at least a dozen type of peppers. And so she's working on that. But also, she's an incredible cook. And she's great with all kinds of candies and cakes and stuff like that. And
Right,
she's
so
made
she-
this whole
so she-
viral thing.
Yeah, so she's been making caramels and stuff. So
Yeah.
now we're thinking, how can we take what we do and mix it with what she does,
Exactly.
and help her
That's how
make an
Smith and
income.
Wesson got together.
Yeah, so we can help her make an income and move our business forward at the same time.
Exactly.
It sounds
So
like a good
that's
idea.
her goal. I mean, she made some awesome caramels, some type of viral thing that was going on TikTok. It's like a pistachio in center, and she made like milk chocolate, dark chocolate, white chocolate. So she actually has a booth coming up on Sunday
Here in town, yeah.
in town here. So we're excited about that. We're going to throw a few products that way, just lower heat. You know, I actually have one that's going to be a Meyer lemon, which is from our own lemon tree. Meyer lemon bundt cakes with having some blueberry topping on top of it.
Ooh, that sounds
So,
good.
yeah, so we're planning on that, and a
I'm
few other
sucker for
nuts that
blueberry.
little less heat.
Well, Burn Daly asks, what is your favorite, the favorite product of your own that you make? It's a great question.
Okay.
The Yellow Devil's Tongue hot sauce that we don't have anymore of.
Yeah,
What was it?
Yellow Devil's Tongue hot sauce that we made.
yeah.
That's the
I
one you
would say
love?
myself, I would say the thing I'm just making now. There's quite a few nuts that I absolutely love, and I will always go back to them. But that blueberry, having some fun blueberry with the habaneros, I'm excited about making these Meyer lemon bundt cakes. I really am, because they're going to be awesome.
That
Absolutely.
blueberry jam, the way we give it to people is either on a cracker, or now we didn't do it in Tampa because of the heat, but just a little bit of cream cheese and that jam on a cracker
it's insane.
is just heaven.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So one of the things that we've done, which I think is really neat, you started you gave me homework.
Yeah.
I just think that's the coolest thing, because here's the truth of it. I think people that have sent me growers for years are watching my reaction and hearing what I say, and they're kind of gauging kind of what they do off that. But you straight up gave me homework one day. Tell me about that, because that was really cool.
Well, here's the deal.
Something different.
But beyond that, you have the ability to pick out flavors, to pick out accents in a product
We can't.
that we're blown out. You talked about, I mentioned that Jason Beard chocolate permatale, which was your benchmark for a while.
For a year or two, it was the hottest thing.
Her and I did a show with, who was it? That we ate the little bits of primatale.
No, it was ourselves.
Oh, okay. We did. So we did a video.
It was
and it was like the size of my pinky nail.
Oh, not even.
That.
And dude, we were floored.
Oh my God.
I gained so much respect for guys in your league that it's just I don't even pretend anymore that I'm going to get there, because to be honest, I mean I have a hiatal hernia, so that sucks anyway. But I don't even have the desire to get there. I'm having so much fun with all this other stuff getting the ability to. I mean, if her and I are like feeling real dairy, and we've been drinking some one night or whatever, well, I might go out to the garden and grab like a scorpion, and we'll eat a piece of it or something. And when we're lit up and we laugh about it and stuff.
For those who are watching who haven't seen the videos, let me explain how the homework worked. I opened a box of peppers one day that I get from them, and it says there was like a red pod and a yellow pod of the same variety. I can't remember. They said, this is your homework. I want you to rate these on flavor and heat. And there was a sheet of paper. I'm like, I got homework. First time ever I had homework I was jacked up to do. And they were like chocolate pods. Which one's hotter? And you had a couple different.
We sent you a whole box of yellows one time.
But that was so much fun though, because I know that like very recently, a couple days ago, a friend of mine messaged me and says that he was in a chat and someone said that was saying that there's no point to doing videos like that. What's the point? I said, the point is you're a good example of why I do videos like that. You know, but the other reason we do videos is because people like watching people eat peppers. I don't know what it is. I was always into it. But I watched that video where you were eating the chocolate crumatelli. That was awesome.
Yeah. We truly take feedback from guys like you and you know, there, and some other folks, and we steer our growth, we steer our products based on the feedback, because you've eaten a product of ours and said you could taste a little bit of tartness in something, or a little bit of bitter, or a little bit of something that we would never taste.
Exactly.
And it lets us go back and think, well, what component could maybe be giving us that bitterness that we can smooth out or something? It's a legitimate thing.
It is
smart. Let me ask you this. You ever miss snow? Because I'll tell you something. You guys know, you watch what happened in Erie.
No.
The next time I see snow, we will fly to snow the next time we want to see it.
Yep.
I like looking at it, but I don't like being in it.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's exactly it. I'm so over snow. But you know, when it comes to the whole entire thing with peppers, I mean, I truly wish I could embrace what you embrace, because I can't. I mean, when I taste a pepper and it's hot, it just blows me away. Okay. But with the help of you and a few others, it makes us feel like we can go somewhere. You know, I can take this data and go from there. Like my amnesiac, I mean, like I said, we're very, very, very small batch with some sauces, because we're still working on our kitchen.
You know, we basically, because we're a cottage food industry, we can't market sauces, we can't mark salsas and stuff. So what we do is we make stuff, and then when somebody buys a bunch of stuff, we'll give them our sauces. We'll give them stuff away as a gift. You know, some people have asked to buy it, and you know, you can sell it to them locally or whatever. But you know, that's really not. I don't. What we discovered here, and it's sad. What would be the difference between Pennsylvania and here? In Pennsylvania, there was a very much community environment when it came to things like cottage food and, you know, using people's kitchens to make things and stuff like that. Down here, every VFW, every commercial kitchen, anything, if you're not in the boys club, they just don't let you in.
So we're working.
So you know, we're 35 minutes from Jacksonville, and we've kind of done some research, and we pretty much have to drive down to Jacksonville and find somebody that we can lease commercial kitchen space if we ever wanted to really make a product. Or we do stuff like some of the folks that are probably watching now, where they come up with something and then they just hand it over and have a company make it for them.
Exactly. I mean, we have like 11 different sauces that I love. I mean, they all turned out incredible. And speaking of which, when it comes to like amount of ingredients, is the amnesiac, which I made with 100% amnesia peppers. And it took me over
crazy pepper.
It is. It is. And I'm so upset because I lost all of my plants.
Rocco,
14 of them.
Speaking of which, just so you know, Rocco was overjoyed to find out that you ate one on camera in that show.
Yeah, definitely.
Just so you know.
Really?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But it took me 32 ingredients to make my amnesiac sauce because of how bitter the amnesia pepper is. And it took a lot. But I was really happy.
I mean, you've always said it hangs out a lot longer than a lot of other equal hot peppers, right?
Yep.
It's got legs, man.
It does.
Most peppers, like if I'm in season, like if it's pepper season, if I'm at baseline, I can eat a pepper and go to peak and back to baseline in about 10 or 15 minutes.
Yeah. Well, I remember the last time you were here, it was crazy.
It's still burning. I was like, you gotta be kidding me.
I know.
Pepper that burns longer. Like if you have a pepper that's a 7 on someone's scale, but it'll burn
Yeah.
for 20 minutes. That's more
Yeah.
memorable than a 7 that
Right.
burns for
Yeah. Yep.
15.
So one of the people had asked or Clayton asked, what was our favorite experience with you? And to be honest, hold on, I got to get
Oh,
that.
that's
You get that. I'll keep talking. When you came to our place for the show and you were just walking through the greenhouses and just picking peppers off the plants and eating them,
That was great.
you grabbed one of those really big peach marugas and you ate the whole goddamn pepper. And I was floored.
I ate a lot of peppers that day.
Yeah, you did.
You did.
Yeah,
That
and
was
you ate
fun.
that, and you ate the amnesias last. That's the thing.
Yep. So the chicken.
That's such a hot pepper, man. It's
Yeah.
And it's got. I've gotten to the point where I know its taste. It tastes
Yeah.
different than other peppers.
It does. Yeah.
It is.
Yep.
Absolutely.
It does have a bitterness
You're
to
like,
it.
well, you can't tell the difference flavor wise. I don't think between a lot of chocolate pods, and that was
Yeah.
But making the sauce, I could definitely tell the bitterness. I mean, yes, I could only take like little tiny taste, and then I usually throw him in the mix because he can handle more than I can to see where we're going. But yeah, it took a lot. It took a lot. I was really happy though with the end result. So, but considering how many sauces that I've come up with, it's really hard to try to make a decision on whether or not I want to go forward on just like, 2 or 3 sauces.
So we made a sauce with 100% dragon's breath called Dragon's Rage.
Yes.
And everybody loved it.
Yep.
It was
Black
gone.
cherry.
Everybody would keep asking for it. We had some local friends here in Florida that just kept begging us for more and more.
That and Scarlet Death.
And the Scarlet Death, right?
Yep.
And which is just, with the Scarlet Death, at the end of the year, all the red pods that are getting soft, we'll just freeze and then we'll turn them into mash and turn it into a sauce.
Yep.
And it was mostly red butch teas, reapers, and scorpion, Moruga scorpions, and 7-pot primos.
Whatever we can find.
And everybody loved it. It had pomegranate in it, and it's just that step to go from kind of just giving them away or maybe selling them on the sly a little bit to being a business with sauces.
Here's the thing.
It feels like such a big jump.
Too much right now.
Listen, in every business, when people scale up, you think you're going to make more money and it'll be more rewarding. At some point, it isn't worth the trouble and the headache for the amount of money.
And that's exactly. Yeah, that's exactly where our head is. So let me back up 1 second. One thing that I try to let people understand when they talk about it as a business, this really is, I retired in 20.
Yeah.
And so I did my 20 years for P&G. I retired, did my thing. This is a hobby that her and I can do together.
Without killing each other.
The fact that it pays for itself, that we get enjoyment out of it, that we can fly to meet people and have fun is all a bonus.
Right. Yeah, I get that.
The day that I wake up or she wakes up and says, screw this, I don't feel like going out there and watering those plants. We're prepared to have that discussion.
Yeah.
Where do we want to go from here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I know somebody who's a grower for a long time who just had that moment. He's like,
I'm not
doing this anymore.
So
Here's
do I.
thing. I think a lot of people think that they don't understand the labor.
It's a lot.
All, it's bad enough that you have to get up and the watering them and just tending them all the time and pruning them and checking them and just with how many plants? 300 plants?
Yeah.
That's a lot of work.
This year, we definitely overextended ourselves this year.
Yeah, we definitely So here was the plan. We planted 800 plants with the plan of paring them back to 5.
Yeah, still too much.
The storm trashed so many, none of that mattered anyway.
Yeah,
because they were all like third height plants when we got trashed.
Yep.
So you guys know the answer to this question. Veggie Beard asks, have you ever noticed bitterness fade in a sauce after it's sat on the shelf or a fridge for a period of time? I've not.
As of yet.
Not with our own,
No.
but to be honest, we've got a few sauces that may have sat for the better part of a year now that we haven't tasted again. So that's a really good question and a great prompt to have us go back and revisit those.
Yeah, definitely.
Nobody
Andy has a question. Are you guys ever going to make a super hot fudge?
Definitely.
Yes.
Most definitely.
Dude, I swear to God, she just talked about it like a week ago.
Yeah. A Nutella fudge I'm thinking about.
That'll be the first one.
Yeah.
How about James Collin Cares? One of my wrenches, he asks, and by the way, Brock is also one of my wrenches, but James asks, have you ever made a spicy sponge toffee?
Yes, I have. The honeycomb, I have done one. Unfortunately, it's hard because of the fact with being in Florida, moisture. Honeycomb is really, really sensitive to temperature
and humidity.
And humidity. And originally, when we were down here, I did make a batch of it. It turned out incredible, but it was such short shelf life because
so that's a good question though. We're in the process of figuring out what can we just make in a small batch and then it goes out the door and it's done, as opposed to the
order.
Yeah, almost right.
Yeah, within a week or two. Yes.
Yeah.
We've had trouble with supply chain issues. If you have business for 8 years, you're going to. But at Blazing Foods, there were times we had trouble, and we almost got to the point where we're making the order, and it's really challenging to do that.
It is.
I mean, her biggest sellers are obviously the nuts.
Yes.
And for the longest time, Sam's Club had just great prices for bulk nuts.
For certain ones. Yes.
Apparently, somebody figured out they're selling nuts to businesses more than they thought, and they upped all their prices. So now, granted, everything's expensive, so it's not just that.
Yeah.
Supply chain just sucks, and inflation has just destroyed the bottom line to everybody. That's just a given.
We did find a great supplier, though, of Georgia pecans, which is a big thing for us. Macadamia.
Yeah, you do a lot with pecans.
Oh, yeah. I do. Definitely.
Yeah.
It's a great nut. And that with cashews also. We also found a great vendor for cashews that are awesome. They're like great inside.
I'll tell you, sourcing a good vendor or sourcing something good, David Foy is is a genius with that.
Yeah,
awesome.
Genius with sourcing products. He's so good at it. It's hard to do when you get a good one. I mean,
it is.
We were buying
you don't want to tell anybody where you get it.
Yeah,
exactly. It's like a treasured secret. I know exactly what that feels like.
Yeah, macadamias and pistachios are probably the hardest ones.
That's our least profit. It's our least profit and our most popular.
Exactly.
Right.
So, it's...
Yeah, my pina colada macadamians have been so popular.
Right,
which
you've had those a few times, yeah.
Which I'm actually making a lower heat batch just for the show coming up this weekend. But yeah, they're hard. They really are. Pistachios.
91 says 278 million pounds of pecans just from the USA.
Yeah. Like I said, Georgia is best state for getting pecans from. And like I said, we found a great vendor, awesome quality. And so to me, that's the most important part is the quality of the ingredients. Okay.
You know what? Let me touch on that though, because for people that don't know, I've been to so many facilities and so many different all these companies. I've been to a lot of them. You, my dear, are just a piece of work. You have one of the most unbelievably organized. It's so thought out. It's so organized, so clean. The way you do your everything, I was so blown away by that. I'm just impressed with how organized everything was. It was just
I truly appreciate that very much so, and I try. See, with the fact that
is it hard to maintain that bumping up because you're scaling up? You went from 4 to 7.
Yeah,
are you losing a little bit of that, or you still?
He's my right half for sure.
So if anybody wonders what I do in the business, Whatever she tells me to do.
And what is that? Let's hear it. Tell us some of the things she tells you to do, Art.
Well, I do all the fertilizing. I do most of the pruning. She does most of the planting only because my back sucks. So bending over planting sucks balls. But
Yeah.
Most
of the picking I do, but you've been helping lately.
Yeah, we're kind of splitting the picking half and half now.
And labeling.
And just pretty much like all the grunt work.
Yeah.
And I don't mind that. You know, I spent my whole life in factories. So I'm perfectly fine with being given a task and going and doing that task.
Well, yeah, well, she's your partner, you guys. I mean, you've been very supportive, obviously. But you can tell it's something that you really love doing. I mean, you can't have instructions. I wish you know what? I wish I had pictures I could show everybody. It's unbelievable the way you have everything organized, the labels and everything. It's just phenomenal.
And the thing is that we got really like kind of struck here because we lost so many plants during the whole storm thing. And then Clayton, I mean, he stepped up and he was insanely incredible. And so he helped us out with plants. But on the top side of that, we didn't have the whole labeling system set for him. So we ended up having to first like not label. And then we came up with just a basic thing. And then I actually did labels that actually said the name on them because there's not that many varieties.
Yeah, we don't have the number system right now.
Exactly.
We're just using the names. So there's only like 60 different varieties right now. So,
but I am having Clayton actually do some more growing for me. We just sent him seeds for certain things.
So what we've done with Clayton's, not that, you know, last year was just, you know, it was the toe in the water. This year, you know, we've got a relationship with this great man now.
Insane.
And he's a very faithful church person. And what we've decided to do is $5 out of every box of pods that are sold are going to him for his church.
Yeah.
Pay him back and to pay his graciousness back for gifting us these almost 100 adult plants that are producing.
Exactly.
That's such a neat thing to do. He's a good man, you know?
Yes, he is.
Incredible. And his whole entire family is incredible. And so
they bring it into the house, they feed us. It's just an experience for the day. You just realize what good people can be.
Yes.
Yep. No doubt about it.
And so this year we actually we had sent him some additional seeds that he can help us out with doing additional plants. That way we can add to our stock as well. Okay. And then, you know, so that's what we're doing. And like I said, he and his family has been just insane. It's been so gracious.
There seems to have been, and obviously I'm not going to name names, but almost every big seed vendor seems to have had some kind of struggle this year, either with germination or weather problems or whatever. So I don't know what next year's really going to look like.
But we are not starting that many plants. Well, we started plants 3 times this year. We got shot down twice from
We actually went for a second grow.
Yeah.
From scratch. And then that got trashed with the second storm.
Yeah.
So
you had some rough weather in Pennsylvania, but how many storms have you been through since you've been in Florida?
We've got some leftovers. We've got what, maybe 100 plants or so?
Something like that, yeah.
They're stunted growth plants. They're only, I don't know,
1 to 2 feet.
2 foot tall that were trashed from the storms, but we were able to get them into greenhouses. And they went through their bug thing, and now they're kind of coming back.
Yeah.
And we're praying with the heaters and the grow lights that we can keep them going through the winter. And even if they don't really go far, as long as they stay alive, we'll have a foot in the door in the spring.
Yeah.
And we won't have to plant as many.
We're planting.
It may all fail. We don't know.
I know. We have probably about 1 to 200. What?
Loves your shirt, Art. She just wants you to know that.
I
can't read it. What does it say?
It's all shits and giggles until it's giggles and shits.
Till
There you
somebody
have
see
it, folks.
giggles and shits.
There you go. Let me
But,
ask you a question. Everybody has some, whether it's something you love or not, there's a part of what you do that's the part you don't look forward to. What's the worst part of your gig?
Cleaning up after
Yeah,
ourselves. There's just
so much.
if you want a large scale garden
It's
to
hard.
look presentable, there's just a boatload of labor.
Yeah,
No matter how much you try to do it, there's always that next thing you got to go clean up for.
exactly.
Well, you know what? To me, it was after like some shows are only 2 days, but some are 3.
Yeah.
After a long show, at the end of the day on Sunday at 4 o'clock, when everybody's leaving, you got to break it all down and
Yep.
pack it all
Oh,
up.
yeah, definitely.
Those are
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
rough days.
Yep.
Well, we haven't done that many shows, so it's not
For
that
us, it's just
everyday thing, especially with everything that's going on right here. This summer has been the worst summer in Florida.
Well, do me a favor. Take me through an average day. What does an average day look like?
So on the average, we usually get up somewhere around 7, 8 o'clock. We sit on the sofa for a bit, play our games on our phones, and just kind of, chill for a little bit.
By 9 o'clock,
By
we're
9,
outside.
we're outside, exactly.
Yeah.
And we're doing, taking care of,
If it's so, every day is kind of a different day. Wednesdays are fertilizer days for me. Sometimes it's Wednesdays and Sundays. If you got baby plants and adult plants, you got 2 different fertilizings going on.
Yep.
So I try to split it up so I don't ever make a mistake of what I'm doing. She was always doing all of the picking. When you've got 200 or 300 plants,
yeah, it's rough.
it would be an entire day, or so Saturday is pick day, sometimes even part of Sunday in the peak. And then we ship it all out on Monday. It could be 10. It could be 10 small flat rate boxes. It could be 30 small flat rate boxes. You don't know.
Yeah.
You've seen the pictures of the tables.
Yep.
If you don't sell all the pods in a couple days, you don't want to send them soft pods.
Nope.
So now you're breaking down pods and separating them by colors or types and putting them in the freezer. And
yeah,
that's a whole nother day.
Yeah. I have a 22 cubic foot freezer that literally is full from top to bottom of pods. So I actually thought, literally 2 weeks ago, when everything was going on with me and my health and stuff like that, I'm like, you know what? I'm almost ready to take a year off. And because we have so many peppers already that I could still do products. But then, of course, the inner side of me says, you know what? We have all these plants. I can't do that.
Look at the cat.
You're cat people. I love that. How many do you have?
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
How many? 8.
And what part of Florida do you live in?
Northeast. So if you know where Jacksonville is, and then if you look onto the far west, you look at Lake City.
Route 10 runs across
We literally
the
are right in the center, south of that, in the country area.
Cool.
Yeah.
Now,
So
how many
do you remember
cats do you
when you
have
were
to
here?
hear? Huh?
Do you remember when you were here and you were
Yeah.
petting
Max,
Max,
the long-haired
the
cat.
long-haired cat? Unfortunately, he has already crossed over our bridge. I know, he was an awesome cat.
He was a cool cat.
Absolutely. Yes. He was a
Was he old?
Somali.
What happened?
Yeah, it's hard.
Was he old?
He was 10.
10 or 11.
Yeah.
He got
young.
a tooth infection, and we had some teeth removed, and he just never really came back.
And we tried a lot of things, and then
He hung on for another year or two, but you could just tell there was just a day that you said we just looked at each other and said, let's go take him. He's ready.
That's hard. So
Yeah.
how many do you have
do a
now?
lot of rescue. I mean, all our lives we have done a lot of rescue. In Pennsylvania, horse rescue, dog rescue, cat rescue. I mean, we did one thing that was our neighbor down the road.
Yeah, there was an older woman in her 90s that passed away, and she had been taking care of this feral cat colony in her barns that was probably 30 cats or 40 cats.
Yep.
And we went and literally trapped every single one of them.
Yep. Got them fixed.
And took them, got them spayed, got them chipped, and then released the ones that all the males that you could tell were just too old to ever be house cats. They all went back to their barns, and all the other ones we went and found homes for.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
So several of the cats. So one of the cats we even have here, a 3-footed cat, came from there.
Yeah. And we've done a lot of horse rescue. One of my dear friends, Kim Keogh from Serendipity Stables, she, her and I, we did so much rescue with horses, ones that were just definitely being neglected and such. And it's rough. It really is. I mean, you see the horses, any animal in distress, the way they are. And it's just so sad. But that's what we did. I mean, we tried to save as many as we could.
Yeah, I'm an animal lover. I love cats. Dale Cox has a question for you guys.
Sure.
Do you let people come and get peppers, or is it mail only?
To be honest,
not normally.
Well, let me preface that by saying if people were local and contacted us and we were in the middle of season, I don't see that we would have a problem with people coming to pick peppers or see the gig. But we're kind of into boonies a bit here, so there's not a lot of local stuff. If people are going to Disney on the road and they want to stop by, give us a couple days notice. We'll know. Definitely. We'll take care of you if we're in a position to do it.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, we have no problem with people coming here. It's just,
Hell, we told you when you were here, if you guys wanted to spend the night in the apartment, if you had extra time.
By the way, you have such a great place. Bizzle wants you to know. Bizzle's got wants you to know, Artie. He's got a 3-legged cat. His is better.
Awesome.
Bizzle's a great guy. One of my
where's Candy?
Really ours is not only 3-legged, but she's also tailless.
He's so cool.
I know. Cool. It's crazy. I mean, I've bred cats. I've shown cats. I've bred dogs. I've shown dogs. But you know what? When it comes down to the end, barn cats are the best cats ever. They really are. Yeah.
Let me tell you, in Vermont, there's a place that's called the Barn of 1,000 Cats. Now, I don't know if there's 1,000 cats there, but everybody goes there to get a cat. And every time I've ever been there, you sit down and you wait for a cat to come up with you, and that's what it's there for. There's signs there.
Definitely.
If you find one that likes you, take them home, be nice to them. But
a couple years ago. A couple years ago, we caught, trapped a black cat and brought it in. And we always have a special room that we usually put them into because feline leukemia is a big thing. So we always make sure that they're tested for feline leukemia before they come into our house. And she found out that she was pregnant. And so we're like, okay, that's it is. And the day we were getting ready to go back to PA to do something, she started giving birth. So she gave birth. I mean, it was crazy, and it happened. All was good. Yeah, but then after that,
4.
No, 6.
Oh, 6. Okay.
Yeah, but then
she
after
kept
that,
one of them.
Yeah, we kept one, which is our Dixie, which is back in the corner over here. And my daughter actually took one, my younger daughter.
What's your grand total of cats right now? How many do you have?
8.
I love it. I absolutely love it. No, listen, that's my paradise. I kid you not.
Oh, it is. It definitely is. And the thing is that all the rest of the kittens, what we decided to do was when we decided to find homes for them, we agreed that we were going to take care of neuter or spaying them before they went to their new home. That way we knew that they would not reproduce, which is the biggest thing. Because, I mean, people are just so irritated when it comes to, spaying and neutering their cats.
One of the things you had asked about the difference between Pennsylvania and Florida, and one of the things, at least in our era of Florida, is no one contains their dogs and no one spays their dogs.
Nope.
So there are just road dogs everywhere around us. So you gotta have a fence if you got a female dog or something. It's
But even our gate. But even our gate, they jump over the brick fence.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. And it's crazy because, I mean, yeah, we're down to
pull
one
is
dog right
strong.
now.
What
was that?
The pull is strong.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I just wish people were a little bit more responsible for their animals. If you're going to have an animal and you're definitely not going to breed it for an actual purpose, get it spayed and neutered. I mean, there's so many places around anymore that charges such a little amount to get them spayed or neutered. Just do it. Don't contribute to all this overpopulation.
I'm with you. We got a question. Humble and Kind has a couple good ones, but this is a good one. What is the most high maintenance pepper and the most low maintenance pepper that you guys grow?
I don't think there's actually either one.
Well, let me think about it.
Reapers are finicky. Reapers are difficult to grow.
Yeah. So we had some yellow reapers that I swear to God, no matter what you would do to them, they would just keep growing and producing and producing.
Great, yes, definitely.
And right next to them, we had red reapers that were from the same vendor, and they were just a nightmare. So I don't know. I don't know whether it's particular genomes or did I water one more than the other early on, or I don't know. Every season we seem like it's not even like a portion of the garden. It's what we eventually do by the midsummer. It was we take all the asshole plants and put them in one place.
Yeah.
And then you can just pay more attention to them or say screw them and let them go.
Right. Well, I know a lot of growers who just, when they see something that looks weak, instead of perpetuating a bad trait, they just
they'll get rid of it. Right.
They realize it's not a strong plant.
That's what we're working on.
That is probably our biggest weakness.
Yeah.
You want to save everything?
Is not right. Is not wanting to fix everything.
Yeah.
Well, it's like you are with rescue animals. You do the same thing with your plants.
Right.
I get it.
Tom Broom to me is the benchmark. If he walks out in the morning and something looks like shit, he yanks it right out of the pot and it's gone.
I've seen him do it.
I'm trying to get better at that.
I've seen him do it. He will not perpetuate a weak.
Yep.
Exactly.
He won't do it. I've seen him. Honest to God, I've seen him do it with some plants. I'm like, really?
Oh, I know. Yep.
But you know what though? He produces great stuff. But you guys do too.
He does.
You do. Let me ask you a question. Everybody that I know that produces products, especially a wide variety, I think you may have already answered, but I'm not sure. There's usually one that is such a pain to make. Is it the amnesia sauce? Brittle. Okay. Is that because of temperature?
Oh. It is liquid lava. Like literally, it's especially because like right when I got back, remember I broke my wrist back in March on a cruise, and we had that show down in Tampa, and I had all these products to make. That literally was the hardest product because brittle is just liquid lava.
That's what it is. Stir and keep it going.
You be careful, and then he had helped me because I could not handle it with my wrist, and it's hard. Brittle is a rough thing.
How's your wrist now?
Oh, great. Yep, all good.
All right, so
we could go on for days. You know that.
Oh, I know. I haven't even gotten to half of the questions. I don't even think yet. Somebody, you know, I have a couple of starred questions. Somebody asked.
Okay.
Did I ask you what treat you have enjoyed making the most? Did I ask you that one? That's from Arwa.
My nuts. I mean, I've been coming up with some really great flavor profiles on my nuts, and I think I love making nuts.
So if we haven't already said it tonight, I know we've told you this before, but every product starts without any peppers in it.
Exactly. Yep.
Right, and then you heat it after.
Right. So we know
The funny
we
thing
have a
is,
we
sometimes
know we have a
heating it,
case. Instead of taking a product and making it, instead of making a product hot ahead of time and then having to fix it,
Yeah.
do we have to take a product and adjust the ingredients once you
Sometimes.
add peppers? Definitely. As she talked about that amnesiac.
Yeah.
It just, the pepper lends itself to a bitterness once you've cooked it down.
Yeah.
So it's brutal to bring it back. On the other hand, honey, the first time we made hot honey and realized you can keep pumping more and more and more heat into honey, and
Yeah.
it don't give a rat's ass for a long time before it gets hot.
Exactly.
yeah, it takes a lot. Let
And
me
the
ask
thing
you,
is that, yeah, I mean,
what's the difference between freeze dried and dehydrated?
okay, so freeze drying, we just recently, over the last like 6, 8 months, have started dabbling in. And
What's the difference?
we have learned a lot.
No, but he's asking,
Yes.
what's the difference?
Okay, so when it comes to dehydrating, easy. You know, you put it in something. I have like a few different products that I dehydrate. One was my pineapple jerky, which I did, and that was a big seller and easy to make. Just it took time.
You just it's basically just being slow dried until all the moisture's out of it.
And like sitting in the mixture for at least 2 to 3 weeks. But then when we started getting into the whole freeze dried thing, boy, that is an experience because you don't know what's going to happen with each product. And so we
even from batch to batch, if you didn't clean a tray well enough, even
it's weird.
The contamination will ruin the process.
Yeah, because even my daughter, who wanted me to make some things for her that weren't spicy, and then I put them in the same trays, even though I scrubbed the crap out of the trays.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
She's like, they're still hot.
So now we intend on buying a whole new set of trays.
Yep, exactly.
Just for non-spicy products. Because even though they're stainless steel,
it doesn't matter.
If you're not meticulous.
Yeah, it's still there.
You know, once you've put, I mean, a perfect example is those, she has some dedicated plastic bowls for doing like those chocolate primatali brownies.
Yeah. Yep, definitely.
Because the capsaicin's just soaked into the plastic at this point.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, the whole freeze dry thing is an experience. It really is. I mean, I'm trying to experiment with a lot of different things, and I've come up with some great ideas, and they're cool and they work out great. Like the ghostly duds, which were milk duds covered in ghost powder, worked out absolutely awesome. But realizing that within 2 months they go downhill, so I can't keep them. So that means that everything I make with those had to be very, very short amount of batches.
Absolutely.
Same with, I made this cool pina colada. I basically took like coconut and pineapple and stuff like that and blended it all up and then put all hot peppers in it and blended it all up and then freeze dried them. Same thing. Taste awesome, but they only last a small amount of time, no matter how many packets of oxygen things and stuff like that you put in there. It still only lasts a small amount.
Also, when you're done cooking and when you're done, when they're done out of the freeze dryer, you got to package them immediately.
Yep.
Very fast.
I mean, you got to work like your house is on fire. That's your
right. And we're in Florida. It's humid all the time. You know, we have to keep the air cranked. We have the dehumidifiers going
all the time.
Yeah.
Listen, you talked about the plants that toughed it out that you saved, and you Veggie Beard asked, do you believe the next generation of plants will have a better tolerance to what was hard on the parent plants?
I
doubt it. The problem is that the hardest thing that was on those plants was insect damage.
Yeah.
The rain weakened them, but once whiteflies took over that section of the garden,
it was horrible.
There was just
I wanted to cry.
We would have, to be honest, and this goes back to what we talked about 10 minutes ago. We would have been better going out and just trashing every plant,
burning everything.
and not even thinking about them again. And all the stress for the summer would have been over.
Yeah.
But
We want to see everything.
we're just not built that way, at least not yet.
I love it. I think that's
Yeah,
funny.
this definitely was the worst year for us. I mean, it started out great. We had great pods early in the season. Everything was going great. And then once that first storm hit, it just tore us down. And we never recovered from that.
I don't know. I've talked to Broom about this a bunch. I don't know. I could live in a state where every single season you're rolling the dice and you pretty much know something's going to come in.
Exactly. Right. Yep. Yep.
I could not. Man,
But no.
I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I don't know how you guys do.
What you just described is really exactly what the circumstance is.
Exactly.
You truly are rolling the dice.
You could have the greatest grow going in the world, and Mother Nature come in and just squash. You're done overnight. I mean,
Yep.
I mean, this coming year, the season coming up, we are actually really toying with the fact of keeping everything inside greenhouses. We're not sure yet. We're going to just play it by ear, but
I mean, it'll require us to hand water everything.
Well, we're trying to
set up sprayers or whatever. But maybe now the problem is the majority of our greenhouses are those plastic hoop greenhouses.
Right.
Hurricane comes through, it destroyed one of our greenhouses. Two of them, really. My daughter had a tornado come through.
Yep.
Took out her 2 greenhouses.
So you never know, but
you're going to stay there, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, but you know what? Overall, I still prefer it down here. So.
Do you really?
Yes.
You were sick of the cold.
Yes.
That much.
That day that Art came home and you went, I'm done.
Exactly.
We went 33 days in like 17 or 18 without going above freezing at our house.
And over 30 inches of snow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sucks. I lived in Rockford, Illinois once, and the entire month of December, it never rose above 0 the entire month.
Yeah. Yep.
It was awful.
I can't do that. I mean, even the past 2 weeks, we have had temperatures literally in the low 30s and high 20s. I mean, we have.
Is it bumming you out?
Yeah, it's been cold. It's been really cold.
Listen, I was in college, and my dad calls me and goes, we're moving. I said, he's been in the house for 45 years. I said, what? He goes, we're moving. I said, what do you mean you're moving? Why are you moving? He goes, I don't know where I'm moving to, but we're moving. I said, why? He saw a report that said that the average lifespan of a man in Florida was honestly, 7 or 8 years longer than the lifespan of somebody who lives in Vermont. He goes, I'm done. I'm at it. Immediately, they put the house on the market and sold it.
As long as you're not driving, I will tell you, the worst thing about Florida is the drivers.
Yeah.
Honestly.
They might as well not even install turn signals in Florida.
I have never seen so much just traffic and craziness with drivers ever in my life.
Ignorant.
I mean, just levers that go in and out. And I mean, if you're not in the 2 left lanes doing at least 80 or 85, don't even think about it.
Right. Well, Florida is also good. If you just want to type in Florida man and let the search finish it for you, you'll have a good time.
Yep.
Holy moly.
He's awesome. Yes.
Jeremy Fowler says, blinkers, what are those?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, we've learned a lot for that. And and also the prices of insurance down here is absolutely
car insurance
over the top.
Car insurance
we pay 3 times
we're like second highest in the country because of the assholes.
Exactly.
Listen, I used to live in Texas, and I remember when I moved to Texas, they're like, dude, you're going to see rain here like you have never seen in your entire life. And I did. I've never. Then one day I bought a car in Florida, flew to Florida, bought it, and there was a storm going on, and I realized then that I didn't know what rain was until I had Florida rain. I swear to God, I have a video. Listen, I have a video on my phone just because I could not believe it. There were there were cars pulling over.
Right. Yeah.
You couldn't see
Yep.
10 feet in front of you. I was terrified.
Right. And a half an hour later, it's gone.
Exactly.
No, this thing rained on me for 5 or 6 hours straight.
Oh,
It was a
God.
nightmare.
Yeah, we've had that. Yep.
It was dark, like 11
Yeah,
o'clock
yeah.
at night, dark, like just midnight dark, and it was like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It was terrible. But man, I'm telling you, Florida is a trip. All right, so
overall, I mean, I love thunderstorms and stuff like that.
I do too.
And here it's like, because of how flat everything is, it's awesome looking. I mean, the amount you see, but unfortunately, 2 years ago, we experienced an extreme amount of electricity, and we ended up with a fire in our laundry room upstairs. Yes. And it was crazy. I was on my way home. I had my granddaughter with me, and I could not believe when I got home that what happened. I mean, if I didn't react the way I did, this house would not be here, But it was crazy. It literally came down the pipe for the dryer.
Yeah, the vent. It hit it came down the vent, the vent for the dryer, and
hit the gas line.
It put pinholes in the gas line for the dryer.
Yep.
And then that started on fire.
One of the scariest things in the whole world.
Yeah.
I mean,
God, it wasn't worse, for real.
Yep.
Oh, I know.
Well, like she said, if she hadn't got home when she did,
it would have been
even 10 minutes later, it would have been,
a
real fire instead of one room,
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I threw my grandchild in the car. I grabbed the fire extinguisher, spilled an entire $2,000 bottle of olive oil on the floor, and went upstairs. And at that point, when I did it, there was only embers, and then when I went back, it was flames, and thankfully I got it out. But yeah, one of the scariest things ever. And, you never know. All you can do is.
I'm glad you're all right. God was taking care of you guys. All right. So you guys are stuck on an island. All right. You're stuck on an island. You get one sauce that you can take with you, not one you make, but one sauce that you can take with you, and one pepper that you're allowed to bring seeds so you can grow once you're stuck on that terrible island. What are you doing?
Okay. For me, pepper. Okay. So for sauce.
Margaritino?
No. For sauce, I absolutely love is it Tabasco? The Scorpion Tabasco?
Well, it's Tabasco brand of their Scorpion sauce.
Right. Beautiful. I love that. I absolutely love it. I can put a few drops in every single thing I eat, and it just gives a little bit of elevation of heat, and it's great.
As far as hot sauce
you're going to be eating a lot of Tabasco Scorpion sauce. What pepper are you going to grow?
Well, but as far as hot sauce goes, for me, this is no longer available. This is from Pennsylvania. It's called Evil Granny. It's by a guy that had Red Hawk premium peppers.
Yep.
We first found it in Bowers. We got it a couple years in a row. He's not around, or they're not around, whatever. It is awesome. We're still trying to reproduce it.
Yeah.
The day we reproduce it, we'll be doing something with it.
For sure. Pepper on an island, I would say probably a decent habanero, because I can't handle like crazy heat. I love the really big either Scotch bonnet habanero type peppers, just so I can use them for cooking all the time.
And devil's tongues.
Do you know what? I think everybody, if they asked me, if you polled people and said, what pepper do you think Johnny would bring with him? They'd say warthog or primatology.
Yeah.
Do you know what I would take with me if I was stuck on an island?
What?
Probably a bell, like a yellow bell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or I mean, I wouldn't get something super hot. I'm not even trying to get something medium hot. Maybe an ahi fantasy. That would be great.
We were just I just mentioned those ahi margaritinos. They're awesome.
Oh, they are. Absolutely.
Anything ahi. Listen, if it says ahi in front of it, you're gonna love it.
When you were at our place, you were eating those aki dolmas. Those are awesome.
Yeah.
That was really fun. Boy, if you guys have never gone to into a garden and pulled pods from a plant that's alive and just eat it right there, you haven't lived yet. Couple more good questions before we wrap it up.
Okay.
Wes Leipern asked, do you use fish emulsion to feed your plants?
Yes, we do. That's one of the things I use.
Usually once a month, right?
Yep.
Good question. All right. Now, I got another question. I don't know if you're going to answer it, but I'm going to ask you anyway. Who is your nut supplier?
Okay, so it's absolutely depending on the nut. Okay. Simple things, like I said, I have a Georgia provider, which I will not release for my pecans. That's very important. I do have a vendor on Amazon for my cashews. When it comes to usually the rest of the nuts, it depends on where I'm getting them from. It's
wherever Sam's Club gets their stuff from, most of the time they've been pretty consistent in their quality.
Yeah.
And the price is pretty much the same as everywhere else.
Macadamias we get online too.
Right. If we need them in a pinch, I'll run up to Sam's. We'll normally find there's probably a half a dozen places on Amazon that we've bought from that we can go back to, but realistically, it's almost real time.
Yeah, 4 times
deciding where we're getting the stuff. However, like you said, the supply chain problems have been going on for multiple years now.
Yeah, and it's horrible. The price of everything.
Every time you think you found that place that's your secret weapon, you go to buy it again and they're out.
Yeah.
Or they're not even existing anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, quality is the most important part, so if I buy something from somewhere, whether it be Amazon or whatever vendor I'm using, I need to make sure that the product itself is up to my standards. Like when it comes to spices, a lot of spices, whenever we go traveling, I will get spices from like Grenada and a few other islands. Saigon cinnamon is one of my favorite things because it's just one of the most vibrant flavors when it comes to spices.
Yeah, we're not afraid to spend the money to make the product.
Right.
That's clear.
But unfortunately,
I've
it's
often
definitely
wondered.
cutting into that budget.
And to be honest, and I know people aren't going to want to hear this, but we're definitely charging less than a lot of other people
That's
are.
what I was about to tell you. I sometimes I look at the ingredients and I'm eating it and I'm thinking, it's almost.
I feel bad. I feel bad.
We're definitely charging less. Are we making a profit? Yes.
I know sometimes the margins are skinny, though. I can just tell.
Yeah.
Charge more. You know what? Here's the deal, you guys. You make great products, so I don't think that you should feel bad about that. Listen, when you have a small batch specialized product, that's going to command a premium price. It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Listen,
like I said, we try the best we can to keep it
as
Hot
Sauce
low.
Junkie Tim, don't you?
What?
Hot Sauce Junkie Tim, you know him.
Yeah.
He's wonderful. He's a great dude. He wants to know, do you have any new projects on the horizon that you're okay to share?
Oh my God. At least 2 dozen.
But what would you say you want to do first?
Okay, so our Meyer lemon tree produced an insane amount of lemons this year. So I recently
She's really looking forward to doing this cake with the
blueberry. I am also
the habanero blueberry jam in it.
And I'm also going to do a lemon curd, a spicy lemon curd.
I love the idea. I really do. And listen, when you're ready,
of course, of course. But yeah, that's one of my favorite things that I'm thinking about. I have a big batch of lychees as well that I'm going to be making a lychee jam. But the Meyer lemons is what the thing is I'm going to be working on right now. We actually made our own cello. If you know what like limoncello is, we made a big batch of that for ourselves. But yes,
Italian.
we have.
I know limoncello. I'm Italian.
Yeah.
But ours is like 90 proof.
We've messed around with tincture a little bit.
Yeah, I have some.
But guys like Tom are just so squared away with their game now.
Yeah.
That
wicked.
I mean, could we make money on it? Of course. Will people be happy with it? I guarantee it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's a lot of work.
Yep. It is.
People don't realize. They think you just stick it there and you come back and
Right.
it's done. It's
Yeah.
a lot of work.
You're shaking it sometimes a couple times a day.
Yeah, the last batch I have 2 batches
Yeah.
out there that are literally over a year old.
Yeah, I mean,
I just have not had a chance to be able to market it. I had to package it and all that stuff. I mean, when I started originally straining it, I went through like 3 sets of gloves and it still burnt my hand.
That's what people don't get. How bad
you don't realize
how bad capsaicin and alcohol really is.
Oh yeah.
I tell people that capsaicin will go through gloves and they don't believe me.
Oh yeah.
Do you know I did an interview with Matthew Arthur?
Oh
and I
yeah.
asked him if he eats his peppers. He made created the warthog, the hottest thing I've
Yep,
ever eaten.
yep.
I said,
Yeah.
"Do you eat them?" He goes, "No."
Nope.
I said, "How can
Same
you
with
tell
us.
how hot they are?"
Yeah.
Because I can tell how hot they are by how long my hands burn. He doesn't use gloves to de-seed them.
Awesome. That's awesome.
And
That's
they burn,
exactly it.
you can tell right away that they were hot because his hands really. I mean, he's a beast.
Yeah. I mean, I love creating things. I just can't handle all of the heat myself. So I make it. I send it to you, a few other people, to try it out to make sure it's worthy. And that's where we
can I tell
go.
you something? I'm being honest. You have never sent me anything that wasn't anything but amazing, and that's the truth.
Thank you.
That's why I'm saying don't feel up your prices, and no one's going to gripe about it. Anybody does. It's not like they can go to the next guy and get it.
Right.
You
Yeah.
have stuff that's unique, so don't do that.
Well,
so listen, before we wrap it up, I have a great thing that Bizzle wants to ask you guys. This is a really great way to end it. What are 3 things you guys are thankful for?
Oh my goodness. Family. We cannot express enough. Our 2 daughters have been just incredible. And our oldest daughter, with her husband, I mean, our 3 grandchildren, 1, 2.5, and 5, they are our lives. I mean, we live for them. They are just, I mean, I post pictures all the time, videos and everything else. That is our lives. That's one of the main things. Second is just ourselves.
We've been married since 88.
Yep.
We've had ups and downs. We've been ready to be on welfare, and we've had more money than we knew what to do with for a year. And at the same time, every year we just keep chugging along and having fun with life.
Yep. Now that we're retired, the whole pepper thing has brought us closer.
Because it actually
it's something that we can do together that doesn't kill each other.
and you don't have to be hanging on each other to do it.
No.
She can say, hey, why don't you go to tent 2 and just spend the day pruning those things down some, or whatever. And I throw my headphones on, I put an audiobook on, and I'm zoning out for a day, just pruning pepper plants or something. And I'm as happy as can be.
And now with the whole, we both take care of picking peppers. We both label peppers. So it's, a whole joint thing that we sit around and just do this together. It's just him and I. That's what we do. My daughters help here and there. And like I said, the whole thing with the seeds soon. But yeah, it's just us and it makes us happy.
And I get to send you yellow devil sponge.
Hey, listen, thank you guys for hanging out with me. You guys are wonderful. And listen, you know what?
Awesome.
We may need to do a part 2. I got a lot of stuff. We didn't talk about Hulu. There's a whole lot of stuff we didn't talk about. We've already
that would be great.
You guys are in Florida, so will you come back for a part 2?
Of course we will.
Definitely.
You guys are awesome. Thank you. Everybody who's been here, all the great questions you guys asked. Thank you so much. If I didn't get your question, I'm so sorry, but I promise you we'll do a part 2.
Linda,
you're awesome. Do me a favor. What social media plug your social media platforms?
Yep.
Go ahead.
So of course we're on YouTube.
Linda's Fiery Treats.
Linda Fiery Treats. We usually do the garden updates on that. That's usually the only thing we usually put on that. I have, of course, my regular Facebook, which for some reason I just always plug my regular Facebook for me. I sometimes share it to my Linda's Fiery Treats, but it always gets shared to Instagram. So we have that. Occasionally, I will throw a thing onto TikTok.
That would be our biggest challenge.
Keeping up with it
is social media.
Yeah, keeping up with it.
I hate
it.
It's hard.
it feels like, I hate to say this, it feels like a burden. It feels like work.
This doesn't. Every
Yeah.
time I make a video,
Right.
it's the most pleasurable thing in the world to do.
Yeah.
What we're doing now
Exactly.
does not feel like work, but when I have to do social media, and you know what? Everybody's nasty. And right now, everybody's nice.
I know. I mean, even I shared the post for today. I'm sitting there going through contacts to see who I can tag. I mean, I have so many friends on my Facebook. I'm like, oh my gosh.
How are you set for pods anyway?
Oh, we sent you one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we sent him one.
Oh, okay.
You'll get them
You got
right
some homework
tomorrow.
in there?
What? No,
Is there
just enjoy.
no homework? Just a
Nope.
freebie. It's like study hall.
Yep,
Listen,
exactly.
Christy Anise asked if we could put their if your socials we put in the description. What I'm going to do is after the video is over, I'll put every one of their socials in the description box of this video.
Awesome.
That's great.
You
Yep.
are a gentleman. I wish I could shake your hand. You're a good guy. Thank you for taking the time to hang out with us tonight.
Yep.
And
I appreciate
Linda,
it.
as always,
We love
I
you.
love you. You're a sweetheart. Take care of yourself. And
Definitely.
after the new year, we'll do a part 2.
Awesome.
Great.
Thanks,
Thank
buddy.
you so much.
Happy
All right, everybody
holidays.
who joined us, thank you guys tonight. We'll see you guys
Thanks
on
for everybody
Thursday
being here.
Yep.
for another one. I'm Johnny
Thank you.
Stovall, and this was After the Burn.
Yep.